If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get mashed down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at itsori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
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 That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in at Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
You who? Buy merch indeed. A child shall lead them.
To buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We've come back.
We have risen from the
ashes.
From the floodwaters.
From the...
Actually, I should have sent you some of the stuff so you could have posted it so people could see, you know, what we've been involved in.
Yeah,
okay, you guys.
I was going to tell you to post that. We will rebuild.
Yeah. When you go through a hurricane, this was my first one, really. You know, a tropical hurricane. It was actually,
a tropical hurricane?
Isn't that what they call it? I mean, we had hurricanes in Maine, but it wasn't the same.
A tropical storm is what they usually call it. A tropical storm before it becomes a hurricane.
Okay, once it gets to a hurricane, how do I differentiate it?
It's no longer a tropical storm.
How do I differentiate the Maine hurricane from the down south
because
hurricane?
A tropical storm is kind of like a seasonal thing that happens all the time that doesn't really do much damage. It can, but it doesn't usually. But a hurricane is a different gradation.
I felt like our home was going through the car wash. It was pretty intense.
Well, we're looking at there's a tree outside where we are. We've got a pretty decent view. One of these days I'm going to show you guys. The view is pretty badass.
Speaking of view, you've got a little picture of the cat. Metlcat's cat.
Metlcat's cat.
It's down in there, screenshots there.
Where is the homie? Metlcat, where you at, boy?
We need you.
Like Noah from the Ark, they've returned from the flood.
Yes,
there's all our
right,
people.
right.
I forgot about this one. It's been a while. Holy hell. So good to be back with you beautiful people. God, we got Revo in here, Metlcat in here, Lost Hate, Ben. Oh, this is going to be great. We got Kellandros. Yeah, guys, so the hurricane...
Anybody coming from Pony?
Yeah, that's the thing. Mm-hmm. If anybody's talking to Pony or whatever, just tell her to send us a text or something. You know, she's the other Floridian, and I haven't heard much from her yet, so... Wings of Eternal Light, thank you for welcoming me back. Don't know who you are, but yes, we are welcome.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you. Jazakallahu khair.
It's a birthday stream, actually.
Revo goes, this is why I don't live in Florida.
I mean,
okay. She's okay. Kella's been in contact with her.
Yeah,
damn, Pony? We're Bible boogieing and shit, and you didn't even think to message us? Okay, I see how it is.
Okay.
I see how it is. Punisher Batman fan, what's Gucci, baby? Alright, guys. Zero Cobalt goes, I don't know who I am. Alright, guys. This is Metlcat's birthday.
Happy birthday to Metlcat.
Happy birthday to Metlcat and his cat.
And his avatar.
The name of the cat is Metal.
No, I can't remember. It's like Aaliyah, or no, what is that cat's name? Am I remembering it right? Aaliyah?
I'm gonna put this little homie. Maybe we'll have her haunt everybody's dreams. Alright, so it's Metlcat's birthday. And so we are gonna do a stream for the homie. It's gonna be wonderful.
I'm gonna tell you one more thing about the hurricane. So I have this habit of when the bananas have gone bad, like not bad, like, but they're just too brown to, like, you don't want to eat them now.
Too brown.
But they're perfect
Sori's
for making
racist.
banana bread. So I take them and I stick them in the freezer because I'm like, oh, I'm going to make those later. Which there have been occasions where I have, but there are also lots of occasions where the bananas just kind of sit in the freezer. And when we lost power, I was like, what is all over the floor? The bananas were literally thawing out in the freezer and just leaking out all over the floor. There was probably like 8 bananas just leaking everywhere. It's disgusting. Anyway, we have our power back. We have our internet back. Our vehicle is not submerged in water. However, some of our neighbors were submerged in water, unfortunately for them. We parked in a good spot, I guess.
Yeah, we chose a good spot. We had a couple not power lines, but you know those little lamps and stuff that light your way.
Lamp posts.
Those were also a couple of those went down too. It was pretty crazy. Pretty crazy.
It was. I have some pictures. Maybe I should post them on Patreon.
Yeah. We'll post the Milton. I was gonna live stream on it to a degree, but then our power went out, which also means that the internet went out. So I wasn't able to do that, but because the LTE out here is ridiculous. You can't do anything, especially during the storm time. Video description and timestamp. Okay, so this was our hey, we're coming back, we're live. Now it's time to get back to business like we always do. We are a reaction channel, ladies and gentlemen, and metal is our bread and butter. They make the Twix bigger. My hurricane failed. Our hurricane failed to a degree too, because I wanted to have some fun, see some cool shit, but it really didn't materialize.
No, it materialized enough to lose power.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Oddly enough, like all the hurricanes I went through before, we never lost power.
Really?
Yeah, so.
People were saying the winds on this one were worse than...
Yeah, the winds were nothing to play with. The winds were nothing to play with.
All right. There was one point where I went outside and I felt like it was going to lift me off the ground. I know that's impossible, but I mean...
It's not impossible. Like that's not impossible.
Well, not impossible, but close to it, right?
What we did while the power is out, I think we played cards with the kids. I told them Bible stories.
Went for some walks, sat outside.
Yeah, Florida, there's a lot to do, you know? Because you can go outside to a degree. All right! When the bananas are too melanated, put them in the oven. Oh, this is the quote of the year. That's so good. Oh my God, that's so good. Shout out to whoever said that.
Oh my gosh.
Holy hell, that was that was really good. That was very quick. I'm surprised. I really am. All right. It caused a delay in our imperishable flame stream. Yeah, like that and, was we had a Nick show.
Yeah.
Was it that day?
I think so, actually. But Nick's stream has been rescheduled. Don't forget, you guys, up on Patreon, there's a whole list of all the shows that are going to be in October, and every month after that when we do it, it'll be at the beginning of the month. And it's up right now, and we had a show on Friday and a show on Saturday that are both ended up getting postponed due to the hurricane. So Nick's it's on for the 18th. So this Friday we're going to have Nick's stream, which is a movie. And then we are rebooking the Imperishable Flame stream. So whoever's in charge of that can reach out to me. Check out Patreon and figure out what day works for you guys and send me an email. But yeah, it is Metlcat's birthday.
Yes, sir.
So
Metlcat,
this is not just a regular stream, which is cool, but this is a birthday stream, and you know how much we love birthdays. So happy birthday to Metlcat. We're glad you're around and that you found us all these years ago.
Yeah.
And you've stuck with us.
We sincerely are happy that you were born.
Some people have hated us over the years and left in a huff, but Metlcat is not one of them. He and his cat have stayed through thick and thin. All right, so up first we have, let me get that times, 29.
29. Okay. Just do 29:30.
So up first is Willi Carlisle. No.
Yeah, Will Carlisle. Tulsa's Last Magician. This is live.
Yeah.
This is live. All right, here we go. Do we have a little summary of it or nah?
Nope. We do not.
Oh, man, I missed the Wade.
Oh, no. What's he saying now?
Lost hate. They're very racist. I love it. I missed that. All right, guys, here we go. Song number 1. Let's do it. If you're on Rumble, get those likes up. As soon as we get double-digit likes, we'll do the thingamajig. You can win a point, I'm telling you.
We are here at the Cloverlick Banjo Shop in Fort Collins, Colorado, celebrating handmade things and fading craftsmanship. Well, this is for everybody that has a job that doesn't count for much anymore. Well, Tulsa's last magician got his start at 4, pulled a quarter from his own ear and spun it on the floor. Since there's no good tricks but old ones, and lying ain't that hard, he saved up all his quarters and he bought a deck of cards. And he learned ragtime piano, though his teacher thought him slow. Got a black belt in karate from a pawn shop video. And he'd practice all his worst mistakes in a dirty bathroom mirror. And when his mother drank, he learned to disappear. And his classmates thought him funny and good at sleight of hand, but he had this grand finale they just couldn't understand. Oh, it's hard to tell the whole truth of a family sawed in half. And that's why Tulsa's last magician left his home so fast. Well, down and out in Reno, broke in Santa Fe, turning tricks on Los Sueños out in California. Well, they pushed him up against a wall, said, buddy, get a grip. So he learned to set himself on fire on the Las Vegas Strip. And he wandered down to Tampa, blew everybody's mind, 'cause the crowd was cheap and easy there on beer and blowing wine. Said, I wonder where my dollar went, how'd that flower bloom so fast? Said, I can't reveal my secret, though they rarely failed to ask. He had a crowd all thought him funny and good at sleight of hand, but he had this grand finale they refused to understand. They demanded explanation when the card pulled was their own. And that's why Tulsa's last magician lost his faith and headed home. Well, he said he'd learn computers like his second foster dad and free range all the rabbits that were living in his hat. His investments all went swimmingly and to cash on hidden strings. His promotions were a certainty, could make the numbers sing. Now time and space is easy for magic to control. Still it was 40 years of working before he noticed he was old. Now his great escape and act is just untying both his shoes. And most days he's in his easy chair yelling at the news. And the weatherman is funny and talking with his hands, but black clouds are coming in and no one understands that somebody's true religion's always someone else's joke. And that's how Tulsa's last magician pretty much went up in smoke. So friend, if you're the kind that thinks no one quite gets quite what you are, like you're a cobbler or a mechanic in this age of flying cars, if you think that you see right behind what's right before our eyes, you might be a small town's last magician in disguise. And we need you to be funny, please be good at sleight of hand, 'cause there's a grand finale we can't hope to understand. And there's a 1 in 52 chance it's real magic and it's true. So won't you please help us believe in you.
Thanks, friends.
It's like not appropriate. It's not on purpose, I swear. It just feels nice.
The songs, what?
We were muted.
Muted again. Foiled again.
Foiled again.
Okay. I was saying that I'll always have a soft spot for country music. It's got a nice, I know the twang, like some people don't like really get into like the vibe of it and stuff, but I do. Like I was saying to Vinny, it's one of those things that was like sort of playing in the town. We didn't listen to it at my house. But like some of my friends would listen to it sometimes, or I would hear my cousins.
Would you get in trouble for listening to a song like
Yeah,
this?
we weren't allowed to listen to country music. No.
What?
We couldn't even listen to the Christian music until I turned 12. That was like once you turn 12, then you could listen to the Christian music.
What was the problem with with country, according to your parents?
Well, I mean, if you listen to enough country, you're still gonna, you're strawberry wine, for instance. You're gonna go.
I don't know what that means. What does that mean?
Basically, she goes away for the summer and she's by somebody's farm, and
Okay.
it was her first taste of love, and he knew everything basically, and so they drink strawberry wine together and she loses her virginity to him and stuff like that. So it was like this, but I loved the song from the second I heard it. So it was stuff like that my parents didn't want us to listen to, probably because I had the exact reaction they didn't want. And that was sort of the songs that you're drawn to what you're into, really.
I've never heard, I've been in the church. I've heard the dangers of rap music, the dangers of heavy metal music. I've never heard of the dangers of country music. Like, that is some new-ish to me.
Well, I mean, yeah, but at least it was not balanced, but like it was across the board. Anything that wasn't Christian was out, and even if it was called Christian, there was still. That's the word. That's the word.
That's good. You always want to be consistent in your legalism.
I mean, if you're going to be legalistic, at least be consistent.
Be consistent.
Yeah.
Seductive.
So I'm not in that place now. I think that, people are young, they make decisions, and you're influenced by the people you're around, and you're influenced by the people that you love and respect, and you think, oh, that person said this, that must be how it is. And especially, back then, really, when you think about it, a lot of our parents, I don't know, came out of the Catholic Church. And the Catholic Church, the way it was set up, I mean, it was written in Latin and you couldn't understand it.
Right.
So these people are used to the higher ups telling you what's going on and what to do. So when they moved from that to being a Protestant, I think that the deck was already set. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just carried it over, and there were a lot of legalistic churches around the area, and so happened they were influenced there.
What was the song about to you? I mean, he kind of said it at the beginning.
Well, it sounded like
this is for everybody that has jobs that don't matter anymore, or something like that.
Yeah. And he talked a little bit about, I heard him talking about the mechanic and stuff like. I think about that sometimes. I think about how you used to be able to fix everything. Like, there were mechanics were considered like, whoa, this guy can like take apart a car and put it all back together.
Right.
And like that was super unique. And that was the guy that anybody had trouble, they went to that guy because you trusted him and whatever. But now like there's a lot of computers inside of cars. So those jobs it's not the same. It's not,
Yeah,
I think being a mechanic was always complex. But at the same time, if you had a mind that pieced things together, you know what I mean? Like you could do it.
Yeah. Hillary kind of got in trouble.
Yeah.
With the whole learn to code thing with the coal miners.
Learn to code.
Yeah, like the technological breakthroughs that are happening. Our generation were like, yes, this is great. Because when we were kids, and you see Back to the Future 2, it's like, oh man, we're supposed to be at flying cars, hovercrafts, all type of shit.
The Jetsons.
And so like, yeah. So like we love all that technology stuff.
Yeah.
But the generations like before us, they're kind of like,
they looked at it as a negative thing.
Yeah, they're getting left behind. Mm-hmm. Because it wasn't a skill set. 60, 70 years ago, if you were a hard worker, that's all you needed. You go work at the factory for 20 years or whatever, retire or whatever, 50, whatever it is. Mm-hmm. And like, it was consistent. Now, because of technology, a lot of those jobs are, we have the self-checkout aisle. You know what I'm saying? Like, eventually with the prevalence of AI, like, those jobs are really going to be gone. Like, can you imagine having an AI cashier? You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of like, it knows what to say, yada, yada, yada. I mean, that's down the pike, but...
Well, it was weird because, our kids were showing us that basically it was an ad for basically having AI as your therapist. But it was weird because the AI was like, it's not your fault. It's not your fault.
Yeah, I saw that. That's the boyfriend, though. Sayla showed me.
Yeah.
It's an AI boyfriend, and it says things like, it's not your fault, you didn't do anything wrong.
Oh, it's a boyfriend? I thought it was a therapist.
Yeah.
Because you got broken up with. Yeah. I didn't know that was supposed to be the whole boyfriend. What? That's weird.
Yeah, like, technology is making everything weird.
I'm saying it's weird, but ultimately I feel like it's like sad. It's sad to think that people are going to do it because relationships are hard. And some people probably don't feel like that they can actually, like, they're ever really going to be able to get in a relationship. And so, you know, to have the companionship of AI is better than no companionship at all. I think, you know, people are going to feel like, which is, it's sad.
Tulsa's last magician got to start at 4, pulled a quarter from his own ear and spun it on the floor. Since there's no good tricks but old ones, and lying ain't that hard, he saved up all his quarters and he bought a deck of cards. See, right there, that's the line. There's no good tricks but old ones. So that's what's in his head, is that all the new stuff is bad, the old stuff is where it's at, because he's speaking from the perspective of people who the country has basically passed them by, right? Like, that's really what happened, and that's really the explanation for 2016, is a lot of people felt like they were abandoned by the Democratic Party. And so, like, these kinds of ideas are still there. So, since there's no good tricks but old ones, and lying ain't that hard, he saved up all his quarters, he bought a deck of cards. And he learned ragtime piano through his teacher taught him slow. Got a black belt in karate from a pawn shop video. And he'd practice all his worst mistakes in a dirty bathroom mirror. And when his mother drank, he learned to disappear. So he's having... This kid is basically, there's no direction. Haven't heard much about his dad yet. But this kid's trying to navigate life with this kind of setup. His classmates thought him funny and good at sleight of hand, but he had his grand finale they refused to understand. It's hard to tell the truth. It's hard to tell the whole truth of a family sawed in half, but that's why Tulsa's last magician left his home so fast. I'm assuming a divorce happened, and that's why we're not hearing about the dad. The dad. That's a really crazy line. A family sawed in half.
Yeah, because that's the magic trick. Saw the woman in half.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's a good line. I didn't even see that. That's good. That's right. When you put the woman in the thing, yeah. Okay, so that's the trick. He's going with them. That's really intelligent. He's using the magician theme in a bunch of different ways. That was a good catch.
I love it because our minds work so differently. I assume that the obvious thing to me is also obvious to you, but I just threw it out there. But your reaction was cute.
No, that was a good catch. Well, down and out in Reno, broke in Santa Fe, turning tricks on Los Suevrenos out in the California. He's turning damn. That's a story of a lot of people over there though, LA. They leave the small town, whatever, to go make it big because they heard one person or 5 people did that, not realizing that.
Or they saw movies or shows where it happened.
That's a 1 in 100 million chance.
Nashville too.
Type of thing.
That's the whole country one. Go to Nashville.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also the metal place. I mean, it's just the music place. It's the music capital, I think, of America.
That's interesting. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, it's a tough environment, man. It's a tough environment. But when you're a kid, you really believe. It's like now, like, you got a lot of people like, I'm going to be a YouTuber. You know, because they're like, oh, these people want to, you know what I'm saying? Because it's true. Like, you look at YouTube, sometimes you're like, this person is not.
It looks so easy, yeah.
Yeah, and it looks so easy until people start doing it. You know, I remember one time I was kind of like mentoring this dude, and like, he was very controversial. And so he would say this crazy shit, and then the next day, like, he'd be down 2 or 3 subs, and he'd go crazy, freak out, I'm quitting YouTube, blah, blah, blah. It's a brutal, 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 brutal profession. It really, really is. But I think for us, the secret is that we do it together. I don't think we would have the success with one person.
I would not be. I would not be still doing this.
But yeah, like he's out there turning tricks, whatever, for weirdo Epstein type people. Yeah, that's a crazy thing. The same thing happens in New York. People leave small town, they want to go to New York, they get eaten alive. you know, if you're a small town kid from these cities, man, those folks will eat you alive.
Yeah.
You know, they'll play you, they'll set you up, they'll trap you, all type of craziness.
Yeah.
It's really like, it's tough. So he's coming with this dream, and I'm not saying that YouTube can't work. Like, hello,
Yeah.
YouTube can work. I'm just saying that you gotta level set expectations, man. You know, the likelihood of you hitting 100,000 subs is really freaking low. It's like a 99% almost guarantee that you're not gonna hit 100K. So it's tough, man. It really is, and people look at the 1% of people who quote made it, and they're like, oh, it's like there's like 500 million people on YouTube. Like, you are competing with so many different, but I'm just saying, like, it's people have these dreams, and then there are people that will exploit that. They will exploit the naivete of you know, the small town kid.
I think one of the things about doing YouTube is you underestimate what it is like to be a public figure. I think a lot of us, you know, a lot of people are on different platforms, and it's so easy to put a negative comment or say something that's just like not very nice to other people because you're just in some sort of mood, and maybe you don't even, you're just like throwing out comments, like not even really thinking about it. But that's why the Bible says that life and death are in the power, that your tongue has the power of life and death. And it's no different with the keyboard. And you hear a lot of people say they don't even know who these people are that are leaving the comments, but then they will end up quitting their YouTube channel because the comment section was so ruthless. And you never really you always kind of thought the comment section was funny, but I definitely went through a phase of time where I had to stop looking at it because it was, I don't know, it was making me sad because I was like, oh, if we go out there and we make great content and we, you know, we tell the truth in our reviews and we really put ourselves out there. We've talked about stuff on this channel that sometimes I'm like, holy shit, we talked about that.
Yeah.
You know? But I think we kind of get caught up in the moment because we're here together and we talk a lot, and then, you know, like, you guys are with us, and when I think of you guys, I think of a lot of like our staple people that are like here on the regular, so it's almost like friends within friends, you know. But yeah, it can be tough, like when you're seeing it like that. So sometimes people leave it, but I said that on purpose because I think more of us in this video platform right now listening to this are viewers rather than producers of content, and so that means that you have access to a lot of comment making. And so, you know, like, if something has to be said, like, sometimes people are wrong and you have to say, well, that's a wrong view, it's destructive, whatever. But I think, like, we always should be careful how we're talking to people. I'm fine with the comment section now. You can say whatever you want in our comment section, but you know, I definitely went through a hard time with it, and I know other people have too. We've seen people quit YouTube because of it. So be kind.
We've seen million subscriber people look absolutely ran over and stressed out. It's a brutal job, man. It really is. So he's turning tricks on Los Sueferos out in California. They pushed him up against the wall, said, buddy, get a grip. So he learned to set himself on fire on the Las Vegas trip. Setting yourself on fire, I'm assuming, is another one of those magic tricks, maybe?
Probably.
But
yeah, you know, I've seen the ones where they light their hand. I've also seen the ones with it.
He's having a hard time, because even when he's turning tricks, people are jamming him up, probably getting shit for free, blah, blah, blah. Then he set himself on fire. This is going to be really controversial, but one of the terms for a gay person is a flamer.
Oh, that's not what I think you're saying.
Yeah, so like flamer is a kind of like sub insult to gay people. I don't see the correlation between gay and flames, other than probably people. It was probably Christians that made it up, knowing us. Because you're going to hell if you're gay. No. Like, that's where the term faggot came from. Faggot was a pile of sticks that you set on fire. Yeah. And you're basically saying you're just a pile of sticks to get set on fire. Just wait. That's, you know.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. A fag is also a cigarette in Europe. And again, that's something you're setting on fire. So,
what's up, Jet?
So he says he learned to set himself on fire on the Las Vegas trip. Maybe that's like him, like, all right, I'll be cool with the gay shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but it looks like that. Then he wandered down to Tampa, blew everybody's mind because the crowd was cheap and easy there on beer and blow and wine. So beer is beer, blow is cocaine, and wine is wine. They said, I wonder where my dollar went. How'd the flower bloom so fast? He said, I can't reveal my secret.
Though they rarely fail to ask.
And the crowd all thought him funny and good at sleight of hand, but he had his grand finale they refused to understand. They demanded an explanation when the card pulled was their own, and that's why Tulsa's last magician lost his faith and headed home. So he goes to a place where he's actually successful. He goes to a place where he's... you know what I'm saying? Like, he's finally successful, but he's so successful that people start pressing, how did you do that? And, like, you're not supposed to do that as a magician. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so now he goes back home. Well, he said he'd learn computers like his second foster dad. See, there it is. No dad in the house.
So he gave away the secret? Is that what happened?
No.
They demanded an explanation when the card pulled was their own, and that's why Tulsa's last musician lost his faith and headed home. What made him lose his faith from them demanding to know what the secret was?
Because he went to Vegas or whatever it was, and he couldn't get any traction there at all. He had to go into prostitution, I think. Then he goes to Tampa. He gets embraced, but the people are not embracing him the way you're supposed to embrace a magician. You're supposed to let the magic just be the magic, but they're like pressing him. How did you do that? Blah blah blah. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Well, he said he'd learn computers like his second foster dad and free range all the rabbits that were living in his hat. His investments all went swimmingly. He had a boss on hidden strings. His promotions were a certainty. He could make the numbers sing. All right, so he's doing good. Now time and space is easy for magic to control. Still, it was 40 years of working for he noticed he was old.
Wow.
And now his great escaping act is just untying his shoes and most of the days in his easy chair yelling at the news. Yeah, so like it's basically he gave up on his dream because life was just beating him down, and then he went and basically sold out and worked for the man for 40 years, and now he's a bitter old man because the thing that he was really passionate about, he didn't have the ability to do anymore. It's a very hard story, but it's a very real story and a very American story, in my opinion, just because the way he started it. He's using magic as a metaphor for this is what you were good at, this is what you had skills for, but the technology and such has made it so you got to go back to square one.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you know, America is the land of opportunity, so when things go bad, we still have it better than everybody else. But at a human level, that's all relative. Most of these people from Tennessee have never been to Europe. They've never been to Eritrea. You see what I'm saying? So like, all their reference points are here. So when that shifts, it becomes extremely difficult for people. And that's why the whole pull yourself up by the bootstraps, like, I definitely like, we work hard on this channel. We literally have thousands and thousands of videos up. Like, there are channels that have 2, 3, 4 times the amount of subs that we have that have like 200 videos. You know what I'm saying? And so like, I'm not taking anything away from us when I was talking about earlier about being successful on YouTube. We worked our ass off, and there's at one point when I was doing about 2 or 3 jobs, you know, including this one, before we finally got that relief. So it's tough. And if you don't have a certain kind of disposition, like, honestly, I feel like I can parachute in anywhere and make shit work.
You could, really.
But if you don't have that kind of disposition, your options are extremely limited. On top of that, you got, you know, school loan debts, which I think, you know, the next generation has probably been soured on. But it's very difficult to make it work in this country sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think, like, especially if you have a dream.
Yeah.
You know, there are countries like Afghanistan that there's no dream to have. You know, just your goats, your village, your wife or wives, and then you just struggle and plant pine nuts and sell them in the market until you die. So there is no, like, I'm going to be a famous actor, I'm going to be a whatever. Like,
oh my God.
there is none of that. Like, they're in a
Yeah.
completely different paradigm. All they care about is, like, having a family of their own, the goats and whatever. It seems to me they're mentally healthier than Americans, where it's like, there's always something else. Like, oh, I want to be a YouTuber. It's like, yo, we've got like 56 million views in total since we started the channel.
Yeah.
That's an insane number. That's just insane. Like, it's unfathomable. And so I don't feel I can't relate to his situation, but I could definitely empathize as like a human being. Like your skill set, the shit that you were banking on is now gone by the wayside. You got to give up your dreams, become a computer person, and sit in front of a desk for 40 years or however long it was. That's a tough existence when you have all these other options. Whereas the Afghans, I don't see a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like, you talk to them, they're extremely like well-adjusted people.
Yeah, I wonder if, I think that contentment is something that we have to actively work on. But then, I don't know, maybe if you're in a situation where you don't have a bunch of options, maybe it's easier to be content with what you have.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, that's my point. Yeah. They don't even have that to look at to be jealous about.
Right, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like everything, the things that they want are attainable to them if they do work hard or whatever. You know, I don't know how you get a farm and all that stuff. But yeah, wow, what a... And again, I think it's
Trump
great.
says, I have more views than you.
It's literally perfect that it was done in my opinion, it was perfect that it had a country sound to it.
It has to.
Because that's like old school for us. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, isn't that an art form that Americans essentially invented? Like, rock came from Europe. Rap came from America. I'm assuming that country is also a distinctly American American art form, hence it's called country. What do you give it? Kellen Dross out here beefing with Trump.
This is a little bit of an emotional thing, I think, because again, it's country, and I haven't heard country in a long time. So, I'm probably going to give this one I'll go with an 8.9.
I don't like country music, but I am blown away with how he used the magician metaphor as double entendres throughout the entire song to talk about the state of, somewhere between boomer and millennial. I think this really resonates with. And for all you people out there, this is a song for y'all. I'm gonna have to give this one a 9.3.
There you go. 9.3.
Gotta give it a 9.3.
All right, you guys. What do you say this?
Oh, the blues. Yeah, okay, so Metlcat says country and rock are both African American in origin. Okay, I'm with it.
Really?
We're the original man.
Of course. How could I forget? You only remind me every day.
It's so funny whenever I say that. White people get so mad. Guy was like, why do you keep saying you guys are the original man? I said, well, it's science. So are you mad about that? Why are you mad about it? 9.2, dear listener. 9.2.
8.9. We'll be right back. Shout out to Overshadow Sean.
And
happy birthday again to Metlcat.
Viva Palestine. We will see you guys on the other side of the break. Vin out.
Sori out.
Gone, but not really, because we're going to be back after the commercial. False imprisonment. I'm Vin.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the filthy capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times, and you get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at insori@gmail.com, and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Yep. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft. Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village. Facebook.com/Vin and Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 tier and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch, indeed. A trail shall lead them.
So buy our merch.
Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. Yes, dear listener. We still don't. Do we have an updated? Yes. Excellent. Wonderful. Okay. This is Caladan Brood. Caladan Brood, City of Azure Fire. Azure is blue, isn't it?
Oh, I thought it was a person or a place.
Azure, AC. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it means blue, but go ahead.
Man, don't breathe your water. Drink it.
I miss Sori more than Vin. What a shocker. What a shocker. I had no idea that anybody would say such a thing. I've never heard that before, ever. Every time I show up here, I show up here by myself, people are like, "Hey, Finn, when is Sori coming?"
Yeah, but
I be seeing you. When you aren't here by yourself, they just talk. They have a good time. Blah blah blah. Nobody asks when I'm coming. That is so not true. That's why I was my nickname. One of my original in year one, my nickname was Paperweight because. I forgot about that. Yeah, I'm really the paperweight.
You were never the paperweight. That's what all these people are saying, but that's because they've never been around me without you around. You'd be like, that lady. That bitch.
Shout out to Wings of Eternal Night, 2K on TikTok. That ain't no joke.
No, that isn't any joke. Good for you.
Pushing.
Good for you.
We had a TikTok channel that was doing very well.
You know what? Let me tell you what happened to it.
Nope.
Caladan Brood, you all.
What happened to it was Sori didn't follow what the scripture says. Wives, listen to your husbands.
That's true.
Does it say obey? I want to like really
what does the word people. What does the word obey mean, Finn?
Well, I mean, you would still have that if you would have obeyed me.
That's true.
But here we are.
But unfortunately, I didn't obey you.
All right, Caladan Brood, read the little thingamajiggy.
Metlcat, birthday man. We will now finish listening to Caladan Brood's album Echoes of Battle. This is the only album the band has released, and the only other song they have is a cover of a summoning song. Listening to this album inspired me to read the book series that all of the songs are based on, Malazan, Book of the Fallen. There are 3 songs you have not yet heard, and they will be presented in the order in which they appear on the album. Okay?
All right,
song number 2.
104. Just do 104 for the timestamp. And we will get right to it. This is Caladan Brood. You know what we should do? We should go find that other stream and put that together in a playlist. Because that's essentially the entire album.
I think that's a great idea.
See what I'm saying? So we should playlist that joint for the homie. All right, guys, here we go. Caladan Brood.
Reach out to me about it, Metal.
City of Azure Fire. Let's do this shit.
Ooh.
Sounds like Japanese almost. epic. Be patient. Wait for it. Sorry, man.
Why?
Azure flames light the way. As you can see, we have Azure blue flames coming up. Huh? Show me another reaction channel that does things like that.
Scary.
You dumb butt. All right, we have returned. Turn.
Wow.
What did you think of that
song? Oh my god.
What did you think of it?
I could sit for hours in the music. The vocals, especially the beginning vocal, I was like, no, why would you do that? But then as it progressed, I don't know if it became acceptable to me. Like if I was listening to it in long form, would I start to really actually like that vocal style in there? I'm not sure. But if you took all the vocals out of it, it was just unbelievable, just the journey. And then there was the second set of vocals. I think it started where in the taverns, temples and taverns, I think over there, it switched vocal styles, or maybe it's the same guy, he used a different style. Well, I could vibe with that style more.
When they had the cleans, it definitely felt better. For me, it's like the lyrics were so beautiful that I wasn't really feeling the death metal.
Yeah.
Not even the black metal vocalization.
Right.
I think Danny does a good job with taking beautiful lyrics and beautifying them in the presentation, because he always has that female vocalist.
Right. It would need a female vocalist.
I think her Ghost in the Fog is a good way where you can write very deep and beautiful lyrics and still have that kind of black metal sound.
Yeah.
But sonically, I wasn't really feeling it from the black metal sound. Whenever they got clean, it went crazy for me.
Exactly. That's why I'm saying, like, sometimes, the Rob Halford thing always tripped me up because, like you guys saw if you watched the Pain of Salvation. What was it? Not Pain of Salvation. I was talking to somebody about Pain of Salvation today. What was the name of that song? It had the motorcycle on the front.
Painkiller.
Painkiller. There was the word pain.
Painkiller.
Okay, yeah, Painkiller. And it was like, I couldn't believe anybody could enjoy it. It was laughable to me. It was annoying I couldn't even, it was just something.
Yeah.
And then I pulled it out to show it to my mother, and I was like, I must have the wrong song. And then I'm like, hold on. And I looked it up, then I went back to our YouTube channel to see, and I was like, nope, that is in fact the song. And then I was like, I don't know what happened, because I had already given her this long explanation about how horrible the song was. And then I put it on. Of course, she's my mom, so she's older than I am, so she enjoyed it right from the jump. But then I replayed it for Vinny, which is recorded and it's on there, and it was a completely different reaction for you as well. So I'm always like, is that going to happen? Like, if you were listening to the full album, is there a story that's going on? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it seems like there's a story that's happening. And so, is it necessary that the vocal style goes like that? I'm just not a fan of that type. Mm-hmm. But the background music was just, I loved it with the clean vocals, but even if you had to strip away all the vocals and just go with the music itself, it was moving, it was deep, it was beautiful, it had this sort of, I don't know, when they have those scenes where people are on the horses and they're the flag and, the wind is blowing, I don't know, I'm talking old, Irish stuff anyway, way back, when it's depicted. But the pale blue fire of glittering, is that spires?
Yeah, so glittering spires ablaze. What's that? Burning a church? Isn't that the thing on top of the church? Oh, is
that what it is?
Isn't that a thing on top of the church, a spire?
No, I thought that's a steeple. I've never heard it called a spire.
Oh.
But I'm going to look. Definition. Why do you need my precise location?
Just do.
Right there. A tapering. Oh, look, you. What, babe? That's what? He's at 100 right now.
Thank you. A spire is a tall, slender, pointed structure at the top of the roof of a building or tower, especially at the summit of church steeples. A spire may have a square, circular, or polygonal plan with a roughly conical or pyramidal shape. There you go. So the pale blue flyer of glittering spires ablaze. So they're setting churches on fire in this bitch.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. How dare you? The Sojourner's Beacon, a wondrous shimmering place. So the beacon for the Sojourner is a burning church. Or Or the church is the beacon for the people, and now they're setting on fire. Right? The Sojourner's beacon and wanderer's shimmering place. So the church used to be the place where, like, if you would go from town to town and you didn't know anybody, you could go into the church.
Yeah.
And they'd house you, they'd feed you all the other good stuff. People like to talk about all the horrible things that the church did, which I think we've done more than most people on YouTube. Only Christians can really truly criticize other Christians because we know where the bodies are buried. People have like things like the Crusades and things like that, but like there's been a lot of shit since then that we've done that's absolutely horrible.
Yeah.
But we did do that well. We were a very welcoming group of people to outsiders.
This is interesting. So I don't know if you burn copper, the flames turn a different color, which if you looked over here, it said that it turns like a bluish greenish. And so I don't know, see, air, copper, oxidized, emits a bluish greenish light. And I don't know if you know it, but some of the tops of these church things are made of copper. So I wonder if that was why the light was that color.
Yeah. That's possible.
If we're talking about like something spiritual that's going on that they're describing by way of the color, because they also had said, "Where's my lyrics?" There they go. Right, the Sojourner's Beacon. I wonder, shimmering place.
In the book series, this song is about the city of Darujistan, which sits on top of an abundance of propane and uses that to light the city, thus the blue flames. So you have to know that because it's a concept record. So they're sitting on a thing of propane. That's crazy. Okay. Through ages forgotten in many a traveler's dream, through winding cobblestone pathways where dwell demons, mages, and thieves.
Yeah.
Mage, I'm assuming, is a magician.
Yeah.
You know, like the Magi.
Yeah.
The Magi that went to visit Jesus. So the spire could be a castle or it could be on top of a church. It depends. Through winding cobblestone pathways where dwell demons, mages, and thieves. My God. It's really interesting because the previous song we listened to, it was about a magician.
Yeah, I know. I thought that was interesting.
But magician here is probably not a good thing. Probably not a good thing.
And taverns where secrets are whispered. I thought that was kind of cool because it's true. Like, it doesn't matter where you go, secrets will be told. It's almost like human nature.
It's like they tell you, like when you're orienting for certain programs, if you tell one person, you've told the enemy. Like that's just how it is. And I know a lot of dudes that like keep that same. I'm kind of like that. Like to this day, there's a lot of shit where I'm like, I should be able to talk about that. You know what I'm saying? But it's just drilled in your head so much that it's really hard. That's why I don't understand how these dudes go on like TV and talk about TTP, all type out of the shit. I'm like, what are you?
Yeah,
what in the world?
I'm always surprised because of your natural disposition with stuff. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm like, wow, these people talk about everything.
Yeah, like
they're open book. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think especially there's certain dudes in certain organizations that definitely never talk, and if they're talking, it's because. I mean, I know a couple of them. If they're talking, it's because they've gotten clearance to talk about it, and it's part of the strategy to recruit the next generation of warfighters for Iran and China.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But it just shows you how easily manipulated people are. So it's crazy. In temples and taverns where secrets are whispered, arcane knowledge hides in their halls. Shadows gather in midnight procession as wraiths and ghosts sing laments in the walls. So a wraith... Wasn't that on Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
It was like old rulers who were like undead but soulless type things. So they're like empty on the inside, but they're, you know.
Yeah, were those the black ones with the long?
Yeah, that was when Frodo was hiding and they were on the horses and shit.
Or was that the
when he first had to
right
put
there? Yeah,
first had to put the ring on to hide from them.
Yeah, and the sword thing came out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right there. There's a picture.
Yeah, so like the wraiths and the ghosts are singing in the walls. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
There's a group of people in the Bible called the Shadim. Shadim, Shadim. And it's in Isaiah. And it's what happens when the king of Tyre goes down to the underworld. It says, the Shadim rise to meet you. And the Shadim say to this guy, you've become weak as us. And it literally says all the kings of old, blah, 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 all the mighty men that were on the earth or whatever, they'll say to you like, oh, you've now become as weak as we. And, maggots shall be your bed and worms shall be your covering type thing. Like, it's a pretty crazy idea.
Yeah.
So, wraiths and ghosts sing laments in the walls.
Written in blood and sealed in death, bound by the ages, the tomb of regret. Wait, it didn't say tomb. Is it supposed to say tomb, you think?
Where do you see that?
Written in blood and sealed in death.
Bound by the ages, the tome of regret.
Tome? What's a tome?
A tome is like a written piece thing that gets recited.
Okay. Fates will be sealed and swords will be met with the cold embrace of steel and flesh.
Good freaking line.
Eldritch beasts
converge on the streets of this ancient sea, so beautiful and wild. Veils of night, the tolling of bells, funeral march to the sound of the knell. You know, they talk about the death knell. Like that's the final.
The death
boom.
toll, like the boom.
Death knell, yeah. Yeah, man, that cold embrace of steel and flesh, it doesn't matter how you try to justify it. It's an absolute barbaric act. For the vast majority of human existence in warfare, it's been about hacking people to death. So the jump in technology made the killing more humane.
Yeah.
But it increased the volume exponentially.
Yeah.
Because you can only do so much hacking somebody to pieces, but if you got a machine gun and you're just spraying and praying, you know what I'm saying? So it's like it's a less brutal way to die, but it exponentializes the effect of the killing. And there's nothing you can say when you see like the immediate aftermath. There's nothing you can say that justifies it. It doesn't matter how horrible anybody is. And it's really interesting too, because he talks about the cold embrace of steel and flesh. When you shoot somebody, that round is mega hot. I got a scar right there on my the barrel gets mega hot, especially if you're using it like over and over and over again. You put it back. That's why people have holsters. You put it back in your pocket. It's like, what the fuck? They're like, you idiot, Finn. What are you doing? They wouldn't even send me to the medic.
They wouldn't?
Nah, he was like, just suffer. You want to quit, go quit. Suffer or quit. That's what he said. I mean, really, I'll show you. It's not that big, but I was just like, all right, whatever.
I know exactly what it is.
But like when you see that shit, like the immediate aftermath, it doesn't matter if the guy was a serial killer, he was eating children. Like, there's just a party that's like, we shouldn't have done this to this guy. Like, it doesn't matter how evil he is, you know. So when it talks about the cold embrace of steel and flesh, like whatever people try to do to justify, and look, it's justified. Like there's a lot of righteous kills, from a military perspective. But like at the end of the day, like you do that to another human being, man, like it's tough. Like you're gonna hear about it in your conscience. It doesn't matter how bad the person was. That's been, yeah. Go ahead. What were you saying? I'm sorry.
It's an interesting concept because you said, all right, the hacking that they were doing before was so terrible and gruesome. And then you think, okay, what does a human being, or what level does a human being have to internally get to be able to do that? Because obviously to shoot a gun is easier than to hack somebody. And you would change more as a person if you have to hack somebody versus, you know what I mean? So the more violent that you have to be with your own hands. But it's interesting because just as a regular person, if you were asked the question, if you said, hey, if there's a way, lots of people are dying, Vin, if there's a way we can make that death more humane for them, would it be morally right or wrong for you to say, make it easier? And obviously people might say, well, it'd be morally wrong if you say, don't make it easier for them. And so then you make the decision to make the death easier and more humane, not knowing that the result of that means that more people are then going to be dead. And I think that, like if we could see the world with all of its complexities, like that's that's sort of like, I guess, the beauty of having like God in the head spot above it all, is because he sees all of the things. He knows all of the ends and all of the results of everything, and he orchestrates the entire thing like a giant network to bring about one perfect ending for it all. But when you're in the middle of it, it looks like, well, why would God do this? Why would he allow that to happen? You know, but you just don't know where you are inside of that weaving web. So that situation was really weird to hear you say that. Like, yeah, because I was like, well, yeah, that's true. If a gun comes around, it's going to be more humane. It's not going to be so. But then when you were like, a lot more people died, I was like, oh shit, of course that would happen. Like, it's just going to be so many things like that.
And you had entire city blocks of kids that wanted to go fight together. So the entire neighborhood went to the same regiment. They all got taken out. Like within 4 days. So there's a city in Europe where like there's this giant outcry because all of their sons were killed.
Oh my God.
So it's like, it's more humane as far as the act itself. If you see somebody like savagely, you know, like we saw it on the show where the girl came in and shot dude.
Yeah.
But then the way the other guy died was he got his head beat in basically. Oh. And you couldn't look at it. You see what I'm saying?
No.
So it's like,
yeah,
it's right there. And like, the person that kills the person that way gets judged way more harshly than somebody who just put a bullet through somebody. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting contrast, and all the justifications that people have for warfare. That's why I like that line. Like it's like, all right, but you know, at the end of the day, it's ending in death. Mm-hmm. So. Far beyond moon and sun, long as the path to the end, Azure flames light the way. Like he's not changing. He's taking comfort in these flames relative to either burning the church or, remember, they were sitting on a city that was under all this propane, and you know, those flames lead the way. But yeah, sonically I loved it.
Oh my God, 9.9 for me.
Lyrically, it was challenging, but they came. I don't know if it's somebody said like, listen out for the violin.
Yeah, I was listening to that. I didn't see the comment saying that, but I was absolutely listening to that.
The last minute and a half of this song was just complete. I just love when shit gets beautiful. And I think only metal can do this. I really do. Like, I don't think the last minute and a half could be done in a country song. I don't think it could be done in a rap song. I don't think it can be done in a pop song. Mm-hmm. I think this is something that only metal can do. When you can contrast even like the dirty vocals and the clean vocals versus heavy distortion versus clean, like those balances and the way those things offset each other it's just another degree of art. And I just think that ever since we started this channel, like that's one of the biggest things I learned. Like there are things that you can do in metal that cannot be transmitted to other art forms. Mm-hmm. I agree with Dwayne. 9.9 is a bit high for me. I do have to demerit it a bit just because of the vocals.
That's
at
why
the
you
beginning.
got that.
I like dirty vocals, but I don't like black metal vocals over something so beautiful. So I'm gonna have to give it a 9.3.
I agree, but it was so strong for me. But it is true, when I'm thinking of it in my head, I'm thinking I would remove those and listen to that. But it is still part of the song. I'm still going to keep my 9.9 because it was definitely a really cool journey for me. I loved the way that it was, like, the visuals that I got in my head. It was just really cool. I loved it. But there's more from this same album, so that's pretty cool. We get to we're going to come right back right after this commercial.
Ben Bear gives us an 8.5. We timestamped this one, right? Mm-hmm. All right, guys, we're coming back with more Caladan Brood. I think this completes the entire album. Metlcat, if you can tell us which show we'll probably have to look through it.
Yeah, I told him to reach out to me.
I really want to make that playlist for him.
Yeah, reach out to me. We'll get it done.
Because he basically did an album review over like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get that up for you, Metlcat. All right, guys, we're going to have a commercial break. We will see you on the other side. Don't go nowhere, or you won't see the next video.
That's true. You'll miss out.
I'm Ben.
I'm Sori.
If you would like to get your song reviewed, dear listener, there's the Filthy Capitalist option. As Sori says, 125 gets you straight to the head of the line. You don't have to be a part of the alliance. You don't have to be part of the group.
Wait a minute.
And the biggest thing is you don't have to wait. You hop, skip, and jump right in front of everybody. 125 gets you there. You do that 3 times and then get matched down to the $75 rate for perpetuity.
Yes!
Also, there is a band review option. So if you've got a band and you're trying to get your band some exposure, hit me up at sori@gmail.com and I'll show you the details about how to pull that off.
You can also jump on Patreon, and there is a option on the tiers to be able to get your band reviewed. Obviously, we can't lie to you, so we can't guarantee a positive review. Get what you get.
It's just rubbish.
Rubbish. That's British for garbage.
My favorite is the community option. $1 at the gate gets you in a Patreon. You get to join an alliance. The alliance joins their points together, and that helps determine what songs that we do.
The alliances hang out on Discord.
Message me on Patreon to get the link.
And they do all kinds of other cool things. They do Minecraft, Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. It's really a community within the community. Anybody can go in the village, facebook.com/Sori. There's 160,000+ people on the channel. What's cool about the Discord is that it offers a real opportunity for community connection, friendship, that type of thing.
And it's on Discord, so if you're not a Facebook person, it's for you.
You start off at $1.
Right.
Plus you get exclusives. Sori and I are working on a song. So the first 15 seconds of that was on Patreon. Also, at $15 here and above, when we actually debut the video, they're going to be there live with us. There you are, dear listener.
Buy our merch.
Buy our merch indeed, and Charles shall lead them to buy our merch. Yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener, yes, dear listener. We are in the midst of a stream for the birthday boy. Y'all know what it is. The big homie Metlcat and his Metlcat. See? We got a Metlcat right here. I understand the real star of the show is making y'all wait, but you guys can do an Ask Me Anything in the interim. If anybody's interested in the things I have to say. If you're not interested in the things I have to say, then you don't have to ask a question. It's all Gucci. Oh, look. The real conquering hero has returned, dear listener.
Oh, my.
See, what did I tell you?
What?
See?
What?
See? Look.
What?
You see what he said?
What'd he say?
He said, "Where's Sori? I'm out." As soon as he saw me coming.
He literally said that because of what he said.
As soon as he saw me come in, he's like, "Oh God, where's Sori? Where is Sori?"
Because he wanted you to blow up like you're doing right this moment.
I'm not blowing up nothing. I'm just sitting there pointing out the facts. I told you, dear listener, I'm unloved.
It's not true. That's not true.
All right, next song is from Caladan Brood.
You're the reason people come back.
All right.
I'm the reason they stay.
Well, actually,
same thing.
I'm not sure that that's actually the case, but we continue.
Isn't that the same thing?
Yeah.
You're the reason they come to the channel and the reason they stay. Well, no. It would probably be the other way. All right.
Yeah, I think... question, how can I get a point? If you can convince your friends over at Rumble to get us into double digits on likes, then your chances of getting a point increase exponentially. All right, here we go. Caladan Brood, Walk to the Ashes of Dead Empires. Is there a little thingamajiggy?
There is not.
Okay, so let's timestamp this at 1:45, por favor. Actually, no, 1:38. 1 hour and 38 minutes.
That would have been...
Okay.
All right, let's do it.
All right, guys, here we go. Caladan Brood. It's birthday boy. Here we go.
Metlcat.
To walk the ashes of dead empires. So we just talked about the city of Azure, and it talked about burning blue flames in the city of the spire of Azure or whatever. That's either a church or a castle. And then it talks about marching into war and all the rest of it. And so the next song, I'm assuming, follows that one, and it's a walk to the ashes of dead empires. So it looks like the spire there might be more castle than church, just because it says the ashes of dead empires.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. All right, guys, here we go. Caladan Brood, to walk the ashes of dead empires. Let's do it. You got them lyrics? Okay, thank you. Thank you very kindly. it goes. The tremolo shit. I knew that part already!
Okay.
That was Caladan Brood. The name of that song was
To Walk the Ashes of Dead Empires.
To Walk the Ashes of Dead Empires. It sounds like music we're going to be making about our own country if we don't figure some shit out. All empires fall, dear listener. So, if you're an American, don't get too arrogant. There is a God in heaven. And we are doing a lot of terrible shit in the world, and we are aiding and abetting a lot of terrible shit in the world. And if you think that we're going to get away with it just because we're America, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay. Sonically, I really loved the instrumentation in this song. Even the heavy part. The heavy part was, like, I figured it out, like, on the second iteration. Which means it's extremely simple. But they're allowed to do that when they're being very judicious about how much metal they're putting into a certain song. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, like, if you're going to be that skimpy with the metal parts of the song, I'm okay with it being a simple... Some of the simplest riffs are the best riffs in the world. The Blind riff is really simple. The Metallica, what was that? No Leaf Clover. There's another one, really, really basic riff that all of us have heard a million times. You can make that work if you know how to judiciously sprinkle it throughout the song. And they did just enough to where I thought that was great. I really think there is a... I think a song like this gets hamstrung by the vocal style. I'm not certain that the vocal style, that the music was beautiful enough to neutralize the vocalizations. It's a 13-minute song. It definitely didn't feel like 13 minutes to me.
No, it didn't.
But the other thing too is, like, it seems like when he gets into the black metal demon thing, like, it appears that the production value, like, the vocals are fighting with the instruments, whereas when they do the clean thing, when they do the it's like it's very pronounced.
I agree.
But you still hear the musicianship.
I thought it was because I don't like that vocal style so much that it was hard to not pay attention to it. Like, it just felt like it was in my face, but I didn't feel like it was... I don't know. You might be right. It might be that was the way that when the music was put together, it is a little bit too high or something like that. I just thought it boiled down to my dislike of that vocal style.
Yeah, like, production-wise, it
Thank you.
I think it struggled a little bit with the vocalization to instrumentation kind of.
If it was like a really beautiful, like, female vocal style, I think it would be...
Even they had a kind of Gregorian kind of sound signature when they went clean at the end here.
Yeah.
Like, that could really work.
The second half of the song
and
is my
that's
favorite.
still spooky. Like, the Gregorian stuff is still spooky. Like, if you watch the Damien series, like, it was all Gregorian shit, and it was a horror movie about the Antichrist. See what I'm saying? So, like, there's ways to make that sound work.
Yeah.
I'm like, and honestly, like Dwayne said, these are insane lyrics, they're incredible, but I can't follow them because I don't know what the hell he's... Like, if you don't start with these guys at the very beginning, it is kind of hard to know where they are because the lyrics are almost unintelligible. I don't understand, especially with a 13-minute song. That's a big ask to ask. And the other thing about the black metal vocals, it's almost like monolithic. There's no real fluctuation, and I mean, how can you fluctuate? It's not like we think of demons as of having fluctuating voices. It's you know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
so true. Yeah, they just have
whereas with clean vocals, you put different personalities into it. Everybody knows what you're trying to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get like Magua, I believe, is a black metal band. Nobody says. You know, like, I haven't heard anybody complain about Magua's vocalizations.
Yeah.
So you could do black metal vocalizations without it completely destroying the song.
Yeah, but I think it's just like the style of this. The instrumentation is just so crazy that the vocal style, I just feel like that it clashes with it. It's like,
Well, because it's so beautiful.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't like that vocal style. Maybe people that love that vocal style, maybe this really like works for them. I just think that they have.
God,
like,
you are so pretty.
Thanks, babe.
My God.
Now don't start saying it. You know, people start telling me to stop. So yeah, I don't know, like, because there was a time where I didn't really understand metal. Like, some of the metal I was like, why? It just seems a little much. But then you have different experiences in your life, and as you do like that, you know, especially like how we as human beings experience life with differing emotions. Like, you know, our 3-year-old, I was on a walk with him, and he's like, you know what? Sometimes when Orion does something to me that I don't like, I get sad and mad. And I was like, okay. And I started to talk to him about it, and then he was like, gotta go. And he scooted off on his bike. I don't think he wanted an explanation. I think he just wanted to let me know that, hey, like, I feel two things at the same time here. And so sometimes I think that maybe, like, metal functions that way because of sometimes the differing things that are in the same song.
Yeah.
Where rap has like the distinct sound to it with rap that goes along with it, the same with country, and but metal kind of gives you like, it can be two different things like this.
Well, yeah, I mean, you kind of had it with the, you know that Fresco song with that guy's rapping in Dutch?
Yeah. Yes.
Ik ben here. That's a good example of that kind of juxtaposition where the dude raps and then the girl sings a chorus.
Yeah, but I thought
that's kind of the hip hop version of it. Go ahead.
Yeah, you're probably right. It just
which
they
that
mesh
style
so
was
well
really
together, and they feel like that they go like that, they follow like this. Where
you talking about that rap song, or are you talking about the metal song?
The rap song, and then with the metal, it feels like it's two opposing sides that just happen to be lining up. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. The contrast is a lot more stark because rappers usually have a conversational tone with a melody. See what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like I could do with the Malvater. He's talking about his mother and his mom and dad having a divorce or whatever. But like it's almost a conversational tone, but then she's singing. It's not as much as like raw to clean vocals. And obviously, like a lot of times metal doesn't wait for the chorus to include the woman. Like metal will have the woman doing the singing something in the background, or they'll feature her for 4 bars before you get to the chorus. Like it's all melded in. Whereas rap is pretty formulaic. I'm gonna do verse 1, you sing the chorus. I'm gonna do verse 2, you sing the chorus, refrain, we're out of here. Whereas metal has a lot more variation.
Hunter, I'd prefer you don't say those things. There's no reason.
The burning fires fill the sky as a golden light in fillades the night. I was assuming the very first line, if you look at it, golden light in fillades the night. I don't know if that was like if they were saying like invades the night. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's the name of the song?
The name of it's To Walk the Ashes of Dead Empires.
Okay. Let me just see if that's what did you think that word was?
I'll be honest with you, I didn't focus on the lyrics this time because first of all, it was just hearing the instrumentation behind, and I really was trying to, I don't think all of it was that vocal style, but I was trying to escape any bit of that vocal style, and all I kept hearing in was like a female style. And don't get me wrong, like I don't think that he's a bad vocalist. Like I think what he does, female vocals all.
I know we're a little chippy, guys. Stay with it for a little bit. It'll.
Tell them to turn the AC.
We'll see. No, it's not the AC.
Oh, it's not?
See how you're talking? It's catching up.
Mm-hmm.
It'll catch up.
Okay. Did you look up that word? Is that what does it mean? It like invades the night?
In fillades, I'm assuming it's a sort of double for infiltrates. But let me
okay.
Let me see what a volley of gunfire directing on a line from end to end. There you go.
Oh, well, that's how you feel about it.
What do you mean?
They're describing it like a volley of gunfire directed. So, and then over here it says, oh, I didn't read the first half of it. I just read, as golden light enfilades the night. Like, that's how you feel like when it's nighttime and the sun starts coming up.
Oh my God.
But the beginning of the song is the burning fires fill the sky. Okay. So this is, again, the same situation where we're burning the castle.
Well, this is the next song right after that we had. So the other one was talking about like the spire on fire, which could be the castle of the church. It looks to me like it's more castle than church.
Yeah.
Because the very next song, the very next line is that the burning fires fill the skies, a golden light enfilades the night. Shattered mountains crumble away, their smoldering heaps upon the plains. Ashes of gods, that's crazy. A cinerous rain, a torrent of death covers the slain. Blood has stained the silent stone where armies have fallen before the throne. That's interesting. That made me think of Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because at the end it said something about like soldiers being remembered on empty thrones or whatever. Like nobody ended up on the throne.
Yeah.
I think Game of Thrones is probably the most disappointing show I've ever like invested in my life.
Yeah.
And I'm not exaggerating. Like
the ending was just too much.
I mean, really, Cersei was my favorite character.
Oh, really? I didn't know your favorite.
Yeah, I always like it when like there's a contest for the top spot and there's a person with all the odds stacked against them, but they somehow find a way to maneuver around it. Close second to me was Tyrion, the little guy. No disrespect to little people. But like that whole situation to me where like you have to do all this maneuvering around the throne. The universe that they're in is not very pro-woman, obviously. And honestly, by the end of the show, there were no women in power. It was Jon and the cripple kid. No disrespect to cripple people. But like it just ended up being the same thing. This girl had a dragon. She gets killed by the dragon. I'm sorry, guys, for giving this stuff away.
Spoilers.
But, yeah, it just reminded me of Game of Thrones, like, and all the intrigue and all the things that happen because people want to grab this seat of power, and there's only one seat of power. That's another one of those things where, like, democracy in our current system is actually superior in the sense that because it's of the people, by the people, and I know, but like you don't have other presidents trying to kill other presidents so that they could stand in the White House forever. Which is what would happen if we had a lifetime appointment to the President of the United States and you could be a lifetime appointee to the most powerful nation on the planet. Like, of course. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
You can see both sides of that too. You know what I mean? Like, you wonder, because there's certain things that the presidents are not allowed to look at or won't know because they're only in there for 4 years.
Right.
And so that's kind of weird. So it's like, okay, so who's running actually the top?
Right.
Let's keep it all the big secrets because we can't have anybody longer than 4 years to be, you know what I mean?
No, it's true. It's true. And it's like the UAP thing, for example.
Yeah.
So Clinton, there's a famous story of Clinton's like, hey, what's going on with that?
Yeah.
And they said, you don't need to know. He's like, I'm the president. And they said, yeah, for the next 4 years or the next 8 years, and then you're going to be a civilian again, so you don't need to know. Like,
that's what I mean.
And everybody's like, yo, this is the president. Like, what the hell? But on the other hand, it's actually a good thing where you got people that can say no to the most powerful man in the world. But on the other side, it's like,
who says no to them?
Yeah, who says no to you, and how do you get held accountable for, misuse of funds or testing on civilians or whatever?
Yeah,
there's no real answer to that.
Yeah, that's exactly.
AOC is our future president. I don't disagree. I think she can be in another 10 to 15 years. That may happen. The burning fires fill the skies, a golden light enfilades the night. Shattered mountains crumble away, their smoldering heaps upon the plains.
So
beleaguered spirit, dying pride, dawn of... Go ahead.
Well, I was just going to ask you for an overview of what was going on in this one.
I think this is kind of like what they call a hot wash or an after-action report. It's basically, this is the ramifications of all this jihad and war and all the rest of it. Right? And so it's like, yo, was it really... I think you're supposed to ask, was it really worth it?
Yeah.
Especially at the end, there's a specific line right there. Snow-capped mountains hold forgotten words, deeds heroic and deeds unknown, carved upon the empty throne. So the picture is there's a whole bunch of bodies in front of it, because it says that at the top of the stanza. Then at the bottom it says that there's the names of all of their exploits or whatever are written on this throne, but the throne is empty and nobody's going to see it because the occupant of the throne is dead and the people that were fighting around the throne are also dead.
Yeah.
So who cares?
Yeah. Exactly.
About any of that. You know, that's why I've always been like, hey, you want to go to this award ceremony? I'm like, why? Like, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, you had a job to do, you did your job, it's over with. Go to the next thing. You don't need to, send it to me in the mail, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I never really understood that. Like, why do you want to be remembered? Like, you're dead. You're not going to know. You're not going to know that people remembered you. And quite frankly, why would you want to be remembered for that? This dude killed a lot of people. Like, isn't that something you're supposed to want to hide and not really celebrate?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if you've never been in that situation, then, like, it looks all...
Yeah.
Before you get into those situations, like, you really feel like, it's kind of like cops and robbers or your video game or whatever, but it's not like that. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, I'm like, well... But it does kind of show the banality of all the shit that we're fighting over. Because, like, we were watching the show yesterday, and there's about to be this big fight, and the leader gives a pep talk, make peace with whoever. And it's like, okay, that's easy to say, and then when the jihad actually happened, like, people's lives got changed permanently, you know? So it's a tough balance to really strike. And I'm saying, like, I'm really listening to this because it's talking about an empire, and we're currently the only empire on the planet. And in reality, you can only have one real empire. Like, if there are actual competing empires, you don't have it in the sense that Americans envision. But yeah, man, it was a really, really good song. It was a deep song. There's things that, like I said, sonically, like, I felt like they made a mistake. At least make it at least 50-50. If it's going to be a 30-minute song or a 13-minute song, sorry, at least make it, Yeah.
Yeah, well, I thought that the one before, actually, I would have preferred that one to be 13 minutes.
Agree.
And this one, you could cut some off the beginning, not the end. The end was just glorious.
Well, those are just the cleans, and that's been the criticism. Like, but I think for you, the music is so good that you're willing to forgive the...
exactly right.
So what did you give it?
But I'll tell you, I keep like deleting it in my mind, the vocals, and changing them. So
right. What did you give it though?
I'm gonna get this one. This one didn't rate as high for me, but it's I still enjoyed it. I'm gonna give this a 9 point. Ooh, they had that glorious part at the end. 9.3.
musically a 9, vocally a -9. So it's a 0 for. Yeah, I didn't like the vocals on this one. But the musicianship and the lyricism is just like, you don't hear a lot of people rhyming in metal. That's one thing where I feel like there's a lot of money that's getting left on the table because there's something rhythmic about rhyming.
Yeah.
Which rappers have. Like, you can listen to a person rap and not hear the beat and know what the timing is. Because they're doing so well at rhyming, and when you rhyme, it automatically creates a sort of rhythm.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The president is black. In fact, he's half white. So even to a racist mind, he's half right. If you got a racist mind, you be all right. Your president is black, but the house is still white. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a...
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Whereas with metal, it's not really like that.
Yeah.
So I think, like, if metalheads would start rhyming more, I think it would bring a different dynamic to... the music. It would bring a different kind of heaviness because you're using rhythm now. All right. I'm going to give it a 9.1. Shout out to Ramon Gallegos. ¿Qué pasó?
All right. 9.1 for him.
Your friend Sohei Ohtani's out here killing shit. I'm hoping that my Yankees can overcome him because... Wasn't it him versus Aaron Judge in the World Baseball Classic and he struck him out? We almost finally won that thing with the sport that we fucking invented. So frustrating. I cannot tell you how much I hate Japan when it's time for the World Baseball Classic. Because they always beat the hell out of us. It sucks. All right. 9.1.
All right, you guys. We'll be right back after this commercial. We have more to come.
See, Metlcat says, I find this one to be stronger than the first song.
Really?
I mean, I agree.
Well, I thought it had a glorious ending that was
sonically
really
and lyrically and sonically relative to the instrumentation. I agree with him. It's just hard. And like I said, some of it was just the death vocals itself, but some of it was, if you go listen to the song again, the vocalization with the death metal side needed to be turned up a notch or two. Okay, we will see you on the other side. No, we won't. We got one more song for you, dear listener. So we're just going to get right into it. A Voice Born of Stone and Dust. That's the name of the song. I'm pretty sure... correct me if I'm wrong, Metlcat, but is this the last song on this record? Again,
well, I remember there was the one like a cover for The Summoning. I don't know if that's the last one.
Oh yeah, okay. He'll let us know.
Your tea's there.
Yeah, thanks.
Did I get any tea? How dare you?
You didn't ask.
How dare you?
You have none
You
because
have none
you
because you
asked.
asked not.
Oh my gosh. All right, get out of here.
Bye.
Quoting the Bible against me. How dare you?
Okay, so we're gonna go right into it. Update titles. Here we go.
Yeah, Ben is supposed to remind us of something. So I don't know what it is. Do we have a little pre thingamajiggy
No,
for
that's
the? Okay.
Okay, so there you have it, you guys. We're about to start this song.
So start it at
Caladan Brood, A Voice Born of Stone and Dust.
2:14.
I already did.
You got it. Wow, good for you. Yeah, 2:14:49 or just 2:14?
Yeah, that was supposed to be 13, and I put 14 though. Oh well, it's about.
But why would you tell them it starts at 2:14:49?
It's because it was a mistake.
Well, can't you erase it and put like 2:15, like?
I'm going to. I
10?
just didn't think we needed to dialogue about it. I figured we'd just start the song. I'd fix my mistake. Oh.
Yeah, but all right, here we go. A Voice Born of Stone and Ash, I think he says. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's see if Soraya remembers to fix this thing. I doubt she will.
2:14 is
But
literally
here we go.
right there.
Where's the music?
You broke it?
What happened to the music?
You broke it?
No, I did not break it. Thank you. Give me those lyrics, please. Lyrics. What's wrong with you?
I can't hear through my headphones.
What is this? Man,
that is some good stuff.
This band
That is some good stuff.
This band is freaking crazy, bruh.
Yep.
This band is crazy, bruh.
Agreed.
I mean, you know what's interesting? I like the death vocals on this one. That's weird. Like, I felt like there was.
So, do you think you got used to it?
No, I don't think I got used to it. I think it's
specific to this.
It wasn't the exact same kind of death vocals, or the production was better where I didn't feel like it was fighting the.
You're welcome to have some of my tea as well.
Vince air guitar needs tuning. Listen, I will never, ever stop doing air guitar. I'll never stop it.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
Because it really is how I figure out what they're doing.
Really?
Yeah, like watching the patterns.
Wait, so you're really positioning your fingers where you believe they're putting it on the fretboard?
Yeah, I know what they're doing. Like, I know what they're doing.
Oh my gosh, I didn't know all this time. I thought you were just,
No, I was learning.
I mean, you definitely looked like you're learning it.
Yeah, because you have the concept that goes.
Okay, so why is it so surprising to you when people can say, "Oh, that's an E sharp"?
Because it's not surprising
to me.
It's not. No, because I don't know what an E sharp is. Like, I
don't know it technically, but you're still
identify what it is. I just know how the guitar sounds, and I know where. Like I know what to do there. So
really,
but I mean,
you just don't know what it's called.
None of these riffs are really complex. Like the solo, you didn't see me air guitaring in the solo because I don't know what the fuck he's doing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So,
but you're so cute.
What?
It's just so cute because you've been doing that for literally years, and I didn't know that you were learning it while you were hearing it and then positioning your hands while you're doing that. That's just crazy.
Yeah, I was just trying to find where is that? What's he doing?
And then you stop because you don't know what to do at that part, but then you start again when you do know what to do. I don't know. It's just cute.
Yeah, I don't have the first clues to what he did with that solo. So, you know what I'm saying? It's different. It's different. But yeah, I'm not sure if this was my favorite or the first song was my favorite from them.
The first one was my favorite. But this one is really...
that melody at the end, like...
Yeah.
That's kind of my style of playing. Yeah. Like, they juxtapose low notes with high notes almost, like, immediately. If they go high, you know the next 4 bars is going to be low. Which is me. Like, I do that all the time. So, like, yeah, I do that to, like, learn the song. And so that's why I do it. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why that's so cute to me that you're actually doing it.
Yeah, Vin's going by ear. He doesn't know the technical aspects. He's fine. Yeah, I'm not a real guitarist.
What do you mean? Isn't that the definition of a real guitarist? Because you just can hear it and know where to put your fingers? It's like that natural?
Well, yeah, but like it's obviously better if you can actually read the music, right? Like you get an advantage for that because now you can put stuff in your head. Whereas if I hear something in my head, I got to get on the guitar and find it.
So what happened? You don't actually want to read music?
I took 2 or 3 guitar lessons, which were really good for me because, it helped me with the major scale and my dexterity and shit. But the more and more I learned, the less and less I wanted to learn because I had this idea that it was like, you're just coming with your emotions, man, and you're letting it fly. And that does happen, but there are ways to make something sound emotional when you're not emotional. And so, like, he showed me that. Like, this is what they're doing. This is Metallica's progression. Like, he showed me a progression with Metallica where they used it, like, 4 albums in a row. Just in different, different ways. That one...
Yeah.
That one thing, and then Sanitarium is basically building off that, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, so what they did with the guitar in this song, especially, like, it just broke out, like people were saying, it's a power metal solo. I don't care. They can be forgiven that it's a power metal genre. But, like, the last 2 or 3 songs we heard from them, we didn't hear any guitar solo. I was saying, like, it's simplistic guitars, and that's okay because everything else. And then they just busted out with this solo from, like, 1980. Like, it's crazy because, like, if this was just, like, a standard, like, a Megadeth song where you're expecting the solo, it wouldn't have done anything. But because I wasn't expecting it, it just completely blew my socks off.
Oh, okay.
The other thing, too, was, like I said, it doesn't seem like the vocals were fighting up against the instrumentation, like in the previous. You said you liked this one in the previous song.
So production wise,
I like the song better. I don't know if he changed the lyrics or changed something, but or like he changed his vocal style. Because like if you look at the death metal or the black metal vocals in this song, there is a difference.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
It's easier to compose if you know the theory behind it, but you can absolutely compose music without it. Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, you guys saw the solo. It's like 1,000 notes. Like it was just. I'm gonna play as fast as I can. All right, so
the song itself, it kind of reminded me. Remember on Pirates of the Caribbean?
Okay,
actually,
go ahead.
I don't think that's the only one. I think there's also Lord of the Rings has the sort of. Like the undead sort of ones that can't like move on. But Pirates of the Caribbean was the same thing. They had stolen, and so a curse was on them, so they were neither dead nor alive. But just like the way that they, from the dust assembling form, lashes out with flint and bone, matted furs, rotting hides. Okay, actually, withered skin, pits for eyes. In ancient days we stopped the ice. We crushed the jag of gruesome price. Now we must heed the first sword's call. His wrath is kindled and doom must fall. Severed from death, we march, we march. Bound to the throne, we march, we march. Cursed by Talan, we march, we march. Warriors of bone, we march.
Yeah, that section was like.
Doesn't it sound like they're not dead?
As I was listening to it, I was thinking to myself, like, why is it that the most inspiring shit is always when you're about to go and do some killing shit? Like the most inspiring pep talk I've ever heard from somebody. And people would know who this person. Like it was like the most like craziest. Like, oh my god! And I'm like, man, if this is what people are hearing on like, the world doesn't stand a chance. Then what are we out here killing civilians? Like, this shit is crazy, man. It's just about, like, flattening shit. Dude's gonna have a lot of funerals, blah, 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 type of shit. And, like, you know, they attacked us, blah, blah, blah. Like, you want to get some, they're laughing, blah, blah, blah. It's like, man. But it was inspiring as hell. And, you know, like Mathis, same thing. Like, you talk to those Marines, man, like, they'd die for that dude. To this day, they would die for that dude. It's like, why are these... Same thing with Lord of the Rings, you know, where in the last one where he's like, there might be a time when the kingdoms of men fall, but it's not this day. Mm-hmm. There might be a time when we'll betray each other or whatever, but it's not this day. It's not this day. Yeah. And then he's like, for Frodo! And it was like, yo, put me in, bro! Put me in. I will fuck up some orcs for my nigga Frodo, bro. You know what I'm saying? It was like,
oh my gosh.
When you saw him say, for Frodo, then he turns around with the sword. I'm like, yo, it's over for you, Saruman. It's over. Seduct.
Good day to you.
It always pisses me off. Like, why is that the... And I'm talking about myself. Like, why is that the most inspiring... Why was that the most inspiring thing I've ever heard in my life in, you know, real time, you know? But it's the same thing over and over again. Same thing with Black Hawk Down. You know? You're scared, everybody's scared. He doesn't want to go back because he's got a wife and kid at home. And Strucker says, everybody's got a wife and kid at home. I got a wife and kid at home. He's like, you don't have to come, but you know what to do. And, you know, he's talking, and he's like, nobody gets left behind. You know that. Like, you know, whatever. And it was a crazy moment in the movie because the kid jumped back in the car, and he went back out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, like, and again, like, I remember this before anything, like, I remember crying at that scene. I was in the movie theater with everybody. I remember crying at that scene because he went back in the car. Because I had never really been in anything yet. I thought the Bronx was like a big thing. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I know what it's like when you're in the middle of something like that, and then like you get a break from it. It takes a lot of chi to get back up to that level. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
when this kid made it past into the green zone where he's safe, he's like, yo, I'm not going back out there because it was taking too much for him to summon the courage to go back there.
Yeah.
Just got married, all type of shit.
Yeah.
And that little pep talk that Strucker gave him was like, it was incredible. It was just an incredible, you know, moment. There's another one where Norm Hooten is talking to Eversman, and he goes, you don't think we should be here? And Hoot goes, well, I mean, you know what I think? I think it doesn't care what I think it doesn't matter what I think. Just guard your men, watch your corners, and bring everybody home.
Man.
Like, that was also, like, it was very, like, matter of fact, but it was also pretty inspiring. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, so I'm just like, the contradiction, like, that contradiction within myself is probably never going to be really ameliorated till I'm dead. But I love that shit. It's terrible, but I love it. I think it's like you're in a situation where like major prices are about to be paid. Like it's all or nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you miss a pass in the Super Bowl, like you can go back.
Yeah.
Like especially if you're a guy like Tom Brady, you can go back or Patrick Mahomes. But like if you fuck up in a when shit gets kinetic, like there's no going back. Like some folks, your folks gonna die.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like a completely different ball game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like everything is really truly on the line in those kinds of situations.
Yeah, it's more stressful than just like, okay, you might get hit. It's also like, what if you don't perform right in your person, you know, or whatever. You know, like there's so many things that I guess you don't think about as like a regular person, but you know, when we start listening to these things, and I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of complexities to all of that. Ugh.
Yeah, who's your cousin, Wings? Yeah, there's a lot, you know. That line right there where he talks about we cry to the blood red sun in a voice of stone and dust. That was crazy.
Yeah.
The way they did that was crazy.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting too, because stone and dust is basically the end of a stone.
Yeah.
You start with a stone, and then erosion happens, you get pebbles, and then that erodes, and you get to dust. So it's like, you're born of stone and dust. And I don't know if the dust part is a reference to ashes and ashes, dust to dust. From dust you were made and dust you will return.
That's what I got from it.
But it looks like born of stone and dust to me sounds like we were born initially as very strong and together, and then war and everything else put us in a situation where we went from stones to dust. Right? And so...
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, look, Wings is Michelle's cousin.
Oh, look at that.
Tell her I said, what's up, Wings? Yeah, so I thought that was interesting too. There were some references to the gods or whatever of that particular planet or whatever it is. I'm not sure about. I'm not sure it actually matters. I'm not sure that really.
When it said we cried to the blood red sun in a voice born of stone and dust. When it said blood red sun, to me it was like a combination of obviously the bloodshed that was happening from the war, but also the relentless nature of the sun in that it keeps burning. And so they're crying to the sun for what? The sun's not going to change, just like their war doesn't seem to be like an end or a change to it. And then it said spell of sorrow, spell of might, breath of fire, endless ice. And I wasn't sure if the endless ice meant like death. What do you breath of fire, endless ice? What do you think? What did you get from that?
Yeah, it just looks like it's kind of like we're going back to the Stone Age type of thing. Interpret it. Yeah, Einstein said he said something to the effect of, "I don't know what the outcome of World War III will be, but it will be fought with stones and horses," or something like that. He's basically predicting that we're going to go back. All our technology is only going to serve towards self-destruction, and so the people that are left over are going to get blasted back to the Stone Age, and you have to go right back and try to make it work. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, man,
another beautiful song though.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't say these people don't know how to do those instruments. Wow.
He knows how to write.
Yeah.
This guy knows how to. He really knows how to write. I'm not going to put him in the Maynard Danny Filth category. I think Danny Filth is one of the craziest lyrics of all time.
Yeah.
Rap, whatever. Yeah. I don't care what. Danny Filth, if he wanted to come out with a rap record, he could, and it would be good.
I agree.
He to me, he's just the best. He's the best lyricist out there. But I love the lyrics here. They were not as deep, maybe, but they rhymed, they had meter, they had flow, and that just added to the overall experience of the song. And that is something from hip hop that I do miss in rap. In hip hop that I do miss in metal is the kind of inner rhythm that happens when you're rhyming.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what you said at the beginning, I think. Yep.
I still can't understand how just two people can write something so complex. Yeah. The piano riff into the guitar riff after 100%.
Yeah.
That was the highlight of the song. And everybody popped when that happened because there's about a 5-6 second delay.
Yeah.
So I always check the comments when a major moment happens, and sure enough, it was just captivating you. And with this band, because we got to listen to 3 in a row, that something beautiful is going to come at some point. Mm-hmm. Something beautiful melodic is going to show up at some point.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. This is a 9.2 for me.
Chad Gray is the best lyricist. Chad Gray is a dude from Mudvayne. I wouldn't say he's the best, but I definitely think he's an underrated lyricist. Especially LD50. LD50 was insane lyrically. Insane. So, yeah, and that actually started off with a...
we forgot the kitty's not on the screen.
No, we didn't forget it.
Oh, okay.
That was a spot with, what do you call it? Yeah, man, I really... What do you get the song?
I give it a 9.3.
I'm giving this one a 9.7.
I think my favorite was definitely the first one.
I'm gonna give this one a 9.7. I liked it more than the first one. I gave the first one a 9.3 or something like that. I just like this one a lot more. The death vocals were a lot more accessible. Believe it or not, it was definitely more accessible than the previous ones, and it wasn't fighting with the production value. The lyrics were crazy. I would have probably given this song probably a 10 if I knew the story in the background and had been following the band. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, and I can see why Metlcat, if you like this, then you're like, hey, what's this about? And then you look into it and it's about a book, and then you go and read the book. That all makes sense. That's pretty cool. I wonder how much, like, remember when we had done that, like, a movie of, what's his name? His name's gone from me. Elvis. And then we heard his... I know.
You forgot about Elvis?
I could just see him in his white outfit going... Anyway, yeah, so remember we heard his whole story and then you listen to his music and it changes it?
Yeah.
Like, I wonder, like...
I agree.
How crazy this song would be to listen to after you read the book. Like, did it change how you heard the song?
What did you give it?
I gave this one a 9.3.
Okay. Well, there you are, dear listener. We've returned from our hibernation.
Yes.
This was great. Went a little
Once
bit.
again, happy birthday.
Went a little bit long than normal. That's okay. Look at that. Metlcat is on book 4 of 10 in the series, so he's got a ways to go.
Wow. Okay.
When you get through book 10, bro, like, circle back and let me know what the thought process is about this. I bet you it's gonna hit even deeper.
Oh, I think
bet
so
you
too,
there's
yeah.
some like internal double and triple entendres that we missed because we're not
100%.
familiar with the book.
Right.
I definitely understand more references, so it's been helpful to the series. Yeah, definitely. Okay, good. Tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're coming right back to you, beautiful people. We have an Alliance stream tomorrow at 10. Isn't that true?
Is that true? Well, wait,
I think
did you
so.
catch an email that I haven't seen?
I did not catch an email. Ben said that it was up for tomorrow. Ben Bear. He's usually on his shit.
Let me just...
Hold the phone.
I don't know if I...
We want to make sure that we're giving you guys the right information. Not mis- or disinformation, dear listener.
Okay, here we go. So tomorrow would be what?
Alliance stream.
The 16th. He's right. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Alliances. Yeah, I've got it on the Trello. I didn't put it on my Trello board. That's the problem. But yeah, no, we were going to be here because I haven't been using that. I've been using the Patreon board anyway. So, yeah, 10 p.m.
Alliance stream.
Like, literally, it's past midnight now. So, like, we'll be back in a few hours.
Right. All right, dear listener. Much love to all you beautiful people. Feed out.
Sori out.
Gone. Happy birthday to Metlcat.